Well, it's off to a slow start, but the snow is beginning to fall around the Denver metro area tonight. It'll keep going through the morning. That, combined with the frigid cold, means a good bunch of school kids are going to be able to snooze those alarms in the morning. Aurora Public Schools, Cherry Creek, Dougco will all open late.
The city's Department of Transportation says it has 40 to 50 plows ready to clear the snow, and its crews working 12-hour shifts. Over at the airport, the crews are clearing the runways and de-icing the planes. Good evening, I'm Kim Christensen.
I'm Kyle Clark. It's sweater weather. Let's get right to meteorologist Kathy Sabin and a look at this forecast. Kathy?
Okay, just remember, I'm only the messenger here. It's going to get even colder tonight and tomorrow. We haven't really seen the apex of this Arctic cold surge, and the snow is really going to pick up overnight. So if you haven't had much at your house yet, that will be changing. Downtown Denver, just a light dusting, a little bit of wind, a lot of cold. Areas north and south already reports of up to 3 inches of snow. These are your high temperatures today in the mid-teens. We'll see these numbers again tomorrow. We're down into the single digits now. Factor in that wind, and we've got wind chill values -5 to -10, and the wind chill values could go even colder tonight. Check out Fort Morgan, that wind chill at 11 below. And this is something that will continue to be a trend as we remain under the winter weather advisory until 11 a.m. Snow tapers off mid-morning, but when we clear tomorrow night, that's when the coldest air will settle in. And so tomorrow, we're looking at snow and cold. That'll be an impact for travel, outdoor activities. The cold and the wind chill will be a feature, something we'll be talking about through Thursday morning. Radar showing some heavier bands of snow to the north and to the south, but we're also starting to see that snow fill in right here in the Denver metro area. This system will impact your morning drive, and we're going to have the latest and the complete forecast, which you'll wake up to in just a bit.
It's obviously tough on people, but our homes can struggle in the cold, especially older homes.
Yeah, you feel it, that's for sure. Energy experts say most homes are not as warm as they could be. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch joins us now. And Janelle, they're lacking insulation.
That's right. Experts say majority of homes in the U.S. are under-insulated. So when temperatures drop below freezing, those homes aren't as energy as efficient as they could be. When temps go down, layers go up.
Insulation slows the movement of air through your home.
This fluff is nothing to snuff at. CEO and president of the North American Insulation Manufacturers Association, Kurt Rich, says homeowners with under-insulated homes pay more on their utility bills. And it's not just a few.
89% of homes in the United States are under-insulated.
Results that don't shock Luke Ilderton.
So I really do think that's a true statistic.
Executive Director of Energy Outreach Colorado. He says they serve thousands of low-income households through the Colorado Affordable Residential Energy Program, or CARE.
The homes we typically serve through the CARE program are under-insulated, so they need additional insulation. And we also air seal and seal up all the cracks and penetrations in the house.
He says the free energy assistance program has big payoffs. Ilderton says many homeowners are spending up to 6% of their annual income on utility bills.
And that might not seem like a significant amount, but to a household who maybe is financially under-resourced, that oftentimes can mean up to 30 or 50% of their income can go towards their utility bill.
He says lacking proper insulation can lead to problems down the line, like condensation, mold, roof leaks, and burst pipes.
It's all connected to really having a healthier home, really enjoying reduced energy bills, and then being able to have a more comfortable home when we're dealing with, more extreme heat events and these certainly bitter cold events.
So when it gets cold, layers of all kinds are that much more important. According to the EPA, making these kinds of home improvements can shave off as much as 15% of monthly utility bills. Live in Denver, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
Don't forget you can take us with you wherever you go when you're heading outside. Just download our free 9 News app. You can stay up to date on the latest weather, traffic, and news throughout the day. It's free to download in the Apple and Google Play stores. Police are searching for several people they say were involved in a shooting at the Dayton RTD station just off I-225.
9 News reporter Spencer Soysher's out there for us in Greenwood Village. Spencer, they say they started in a parking lot?
Yeah, this started in this parking lot here at an RTD light rail station at about 3 o'clock this afternoon. They say they closed off this area with the light rail station and then also closed off a bunch of the blocks surrounding here, trying to build some sort of perimeter as they tried to track down their suspects. This is what it looked like before a lot of the cop cars got out of here a little bit earlier. Police say when they got here to the Dayton station, they found one man who had been shot and another person who had been assaulted. They were taken to the hospital, and right now we don't know how they're doing. That green Lexus sedan with open doors in this video was the only car in this lot for most of the afternoon as police searched around it. It's not clear tonight who that car belongs to. It also has no plates on it. It was towed out of here a little bit earlier tonight, and Greenwood Village Police say they were able to use some of the surveillance cameras that are attached to the light poles here at the light rail station to see which direction the suspects ran off, but as of tonight, they haven't told us if they've caught any of the suspects that they're looking for. Live in Greenwood Village, Spencer Soysher, 9 News.
Denver City Councilwoman is holding up funding for a microcommunity for the homeless in her district. Questions about how that money is being used. In yesterday's meeting, City Council considered a plan to fund 3 microcommunities for another year. Only 2 ended up getting funding. Councilwoman Flor Alvidrez represents the Overland area of Santa Fe, where the La Paz community is located. Its 60 tiny homes house people who were formerly on the streets. She says her community wants more answers about how that funding is being used.
Is it going up to 120 people? Does city facilities also do any work at the sites? Can you tell me what caused that underspend?
Denver City Council did choose to extend the contracts for those other 2 microcommunities for more than $3 million. This is a smaller portion of the mayor's plan to fight homelessness and a much cheaper alternative than the city's hotel properties where thousands of people have been housed. Mayor Johnson's administration bought or leased those hotel properties for tens of millions of dollars.
Advocates for people experiencing homelessness are concerned about the city of Aurora removing barriers for clearing encampments. Last night, the city council voted 7-3 to get rid of the requirements to provide a shelter option and 72 hours notice before a sweep. It's concerning for the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless.
If there's nowhere for them to go, then they're going to pick up their belongings if they have time to, and they're just going to move several blocks away, but they're still going to be outside. But if the city was doing more to offer people safer places to be, indoor places to be, then it's less likely that they would feel the need to simply just move down the street.
Under the ordinance, people who refuse to move can be arrested. Councilmember Steven Sundberg, who voted in favor of the ordinance, says that will be a last resort.
This is not something that we're just going to automatically go to abate somebody immediately. It's to the discretion and it's to the wisdom of those interacting with those on the street.
The city points out it's in the process of creating a navigation center meant to provide shelter and resources. It's not fully operational yet, but it is being used as an overnight shelter. Right now, it can sleep up to 140 people.
After 2 major rounds of immigration raids in Colorado, ICE will not say how many of the people detained are suspected of being violent criminals, as opposed to people who are simply civil immigration violators rounded up when they couldn't produce their papers on demand. We're learning more about those collateral arrests, even if ICE isn't talking numbers. The family of Victor Manuel says he was waiting outside for his ride to work last Monday morning when ICE agents approached him. Doorbell camera video shows that interaction. The family says the agents asked him if he knew where his neighbor was. That apparently was the target of the raid. He pointed them in that direction. Then agents asked for Victor's papers, and ICE took him into custody. Court records that we reviewed show that Victor has no criminal history in Colorado and no standing deportation orders.
From what we've been seeing and hearing, it's obviously they're not just targeting criminals. You know, at this point, they're trying to get as many people that they can, and it's, you know, quite scary and devastating because these people are going off to work or taking random walks and then they're stopped by ICE agents.
Victor's family expects him to appear in immigration court in about 2 weeks, and that's when they expect to learn more about Victor's future.
Within the last hour, we learned an American teacher who was wrongfully detained in Russia for more than 3 years is back on American soil. The White House posted this picture tonight of Mark Fogel stepping off a plane at Joint Base Andrews. He later met with the president in the Oval Office. The 63-year-old was arrested at an airport in Moscow in 2021 after he was found with medical cannabis. Fogel was found guilty of drug smuggling and sentenced to 14 years of hard labor. The Trump administration says his release was part of a prisoner swap. They have not yet said who he was swapped for.